Let's see here. Now the question is, how long will this last? Mario Kart Tour, already 6 years now? Yeesh. I mean, yay, but yeesh. Usually when it comes to mobile gaming, though, they don't last as long. Nintendo is planning to have another, what was it though? Oh yeah, Fire Emblem mobile game coming up later. There is not many Nintendo mobile games out right now, except for maybe some exclusive like in Japan and such. Only like a small amount that's left though. Mario Kart Tour, Fire Emblem there, and I think that's about it. I'm not counting Pokemon Go because that was not done by Nintendo themselves. Usually when it comes out to mobile gaming, though, they usually last around 5 years or less, unless they're very popular for some reason. I mean, hopefully a good reason. Okay, let's see here. I remember how people kept complaining about Mario Kart Tour with their this is and that's. Okay. But yeah, 6 years. I gotta clear my throat one moment. Granted, I didn't get all the badges though. Dang it, I really need to get a new headset since this one's worn out so much so that I can't even mute myself by flicking it upwards. The 2, 4, 5. In order to get those, you have to complete all the laps. Yeah, all the laps or all the tracks. And dumb me forgot to complete the bonus ones though. So the only bonus one I got is the one for this year. I don't think there was a gold one in here though. Oops. I don't think they do gold ones. Mm-hmm. Okay. I remember when this first came out though, people were complaining though that they wish they could do a horizontal mode there. And it wasn't until I think the next year they introduced the functionality though of horizontal or landscape mode as they would call it. The thing is though is that you can only get landscape mode though only whenever you're preparing to race. Up until that point, it's just going to be vertical. Like for example, so here we go. Wait, is my sound not working or am I just too low? adjust the screen here. Oh, that's bad timing. I would have thought that I'd been playing this for about 6 years, though. Of course, there have been weeks, though, that I kind of forgot to play, but still. It's too bad there's certain modes that, or functionalities that they didn't move over to Mario Kart World, though. I remember when they were showing off various tracks though for Super Mario World. There was the typical remakes, reworks, and such. There past tracks. So, and there was one that just like seemed like it just recently came out. By recent, I think it was like a year or two ago. That was one of the last tracks they had from Mario Kart Tour, and that was the Sky High Sunday one. Where it seemed like then we just already got a remake of that from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Yeah, you got the 8 Deluxe upgraded package there. And now it's already in Mario Kart World. But no question, oh, not question, but no telling of what's going to happen to this game, though, because granted that they did say that they were not going to make any more tracks, though. Uh, Interestingly enough, to celebrate the launch or lunch of Mario Kart World, there you got these buggy carts. Like this one, I got the snow variant one though. I also got the regular variant, but I think there was like a gold variant that you could get only if you bought the gold pass. You also could get the mechanic outfit for Mario and Luigi from there too. Now, one of these carts, I can't remember which one it was, but one of the carts though came by way of challenges though, and the other one was just in the store that you can buy it. And of course, the other one was a gold pass. So, despite the fact that they're saying they're not adding more to it, though, they pretty much added more to it. Not much, but still. Well, we know we said this, though, but... God darn it. Ran right into it. As far as I'm aware of, they don't have frenzies in the world, though. But then again, I don't own a Nintendo Switch 2, nor the game, so... Ow. Keep running right into it. Darn it! But of course, it seems like almost every Mario Kart more or less has some kind of gimmick that they may or may not bring back at a future date. So it's still a little bit low. I can never tell how loud something is though until I need to do this here anyway, so because not because it's the last day of the month, but it's a Tuesday and it's the second Tuesday of the week weeks, which means that if I don't get this thing done, then I won't get high enough on the charting, which means I won't get the cool stuff, I guess you can say. You know, it took me a few months to realize if I hold down on the selection, though, that I can see more information about it. Brilliant. No, no cap. Sure. Only 2 times I ever spend money on the Gold Pass, and that was like, was it week 1 and accidentally week 2 because I forgot to turn off the renewal subscription. I'm calling it a pass system though, not battle pass though, because that's usually refers to not only Fortnite, but you're not exactly battling anybody. Ever since Fortnite and any other company that started doing the pass system, though, it seemed like a lot of other companies decided to do, hey, you know what pass system it is? It seemed like every free-to-play game, and maybe not free-to-play game, though, has some kind of pass system, though. Heck, even slot games, like little casino games, like they had on Facebook before they migrated to their own websites, even had a pass system. Well, you could get this, but if you spend a little money here, that'd be like me going to an actual casino there and say, hey, well, you don't have access to all these games, though, but if you want an increased chance, though, you can subscribe to a membership. I mean, some probably don't do, but a pass system. And once again, something still call it a battle pass, once again, without being involving any kind of battles. Who am I battling in a casino game, though? Well, then again, I've been in a casino where somebody was battling it out all right, though, with a slot machine because they kept losing. Well, yeah, the rate of winning, though, was kind of low on the particular slot game that we're on. Don't worry, security escorted them to a nice place to call outside. Or security office. I don't know. I wasn't going to follow them and say, hey, what are you going to do with that guy who just punched that slot machine? Raged out because you didn't win your 5 cents. It should be more like the one person though that get upset though because I won like a few $100s just by only spending like 25 cents. Hey, not my fault though that you were on 2 slot machines when it clearly states only 1 per person though, and you were throwing like hundreds of dollars there in hopes of getting something back. Too bad. Mario Kart has yet to really incorporate certain other things from the arcade one as well, or have it more like what Sonic, Sonic Cross Worlds right now has. This recording though, where they having more guest appearances. It's really Steve from Minecraft though. As of this recording, coming soon, the Avatar, Nickelodeon. Just to clarify, not Avatar like James Cameron's blue cat people over there. I mean, unless they want to. I mean, that'll be weird, but not completely weird. I've seen weirder. They're taking a book or a page out of the Smash Bros. Book over there. We're like, hey, we're going to have some guests. Granted that Mario Kart 8, and by way of Deluxe, kind of did that already, though, except for they did it with their own in-company characters like Splatoon, Animal Crossing, and Golden characters. However, before they did that, on the Mario Kart arcade games, though, they did had crossover with non-Nintendo characters, even though it was mostly Namco and Bandai, because Namco, or it's Namco, because that company teamed up with Nintendo for the arcade games, and of course they introduced non-Nintendo characters such as the Pac-Man characters, Tamagotchi characters, the Taiko drum character, I forgot already. I wish they kind of can do that though. I mean, it's not like they're on bad terms or anything like that, considering that Namco Bandai though did help out with the Smash Bros. Games. Wait, did I already do that? Yes, I did. Usually I take screenshots of me leveling up in some games. You know, ever since they mentioned about how Namco Bandai was helping out with the Smash Bros. Game, I think, what was it? Smash for Wii U and the 3DS? Anyways, there was, of course, while people were still trying to guess, beg, vote in one case, though, for fighting characters for the fighting game, though, platform fighter, that besides the typical, oh, we want this person, we want this person, I'm still surprised by the fact that Bayonetta got in there. I'm not saying no, but not because he was in a mature game, because otherwise, if that was the case, then Snake wouldn't have been there. But Sora from Kingdom Hearts, so. But I know there were some people, I'm saying some because I don't have an exact measurement there of how many people actually wanted it, though. But because there was Bandai Namco that did it, though, there was at least some people who wanting the Soul Calibur franchise characters there, like Sophitia there, or Ivy, or heck, even Siegfried or Nightmare. I mean, It would make sense though, because Sakurai did say that characters that originated originally from games, not the other way around, where it's like Goku. We want Goku there. Yeah, but did he start in the game? No, but he was in some games. No. The origin of the character had been from a game, first of all, video. So, not counting unofficial mods there, like some people do with Project M and other. So the closest that players got to a Goku was by way of the Dragon Quest characters, or Dragon Warrior, if you're one of those people that played it since back then on the NES before they switched it out to Dragon Quest. Though that's the closest you're going to get, because you got the guy with big bushy eyebrows, you got the typical spiky hair protagonist look there, and you got the power up that makes your brunette guy suddenly becomes shocking blonde, because Supersonic can't be the only character that does that. I guess technically, when you think about Supersonic's, like, yeah, we got a furry Goku over here. If he was a hedgehog. Yeah, I better do it this way though. But yeah, going back to the Soul Calibur or Soul Edge, depending on how you look at it though. I think there was, I can't remember why, but I think there was a reason why they didn't want to add any of the characters from their games into Smash, even though they technically could qualify, or did qualify. I mean, it's only fair, because when you think about it though, Link did appear in Soul Calibur 2 as a guest during the time though where Soul Calibur Games was, well, introducing guests. One moment, I gotta go put something up real quick. An icebox. It's also funny though, because this all ties back to Smash Bros. Again, because I even got the Soul Calibur 2 Player's Guide. Yeah, well, Player's Guide was a thing. And the only reason I even got that, though, despite never owning the Soul Calibur for GameCube, because I never owned a GameCube. Technically, I guess I owned a GameCube by way of the first run Wii's, because they have that built-in GameCube port. But I got that after the fact. No, I got it, though, because I had a PlayStation 2, so therefore I have to use one of the strongest old man in fighting game, Heihachi. But the funny thing is, while looking at Link's movesets, which, good lord, that guy had like 2 or 3 times more moves and attacks because of his very versatile range of attacks. I was comparing his movesets, though, to the Smash Melee one, because despite me not owning, once again, a GameCube, though, and therefore not being able to own a Smash Bros. Melee, though I did have the book for it. And I was comparing the movesets for both games, and I noticed that they're pretty much the same moves. Almost the same move commands, too. So that was interesting. I really wish that I had a Switch. Besides that, I really wish, though, that they were able to have Link for the remastered version of Soul Calibur 2, but unfortunately they didn't, because they made previous guest characters, Heihachi, Spawn, which wasn't that great on Soul Calibur 2. I mean, it wasn't too bad, but then again, I don't have an Xbox. And Nick Cred. But thing is, they didn't have one for Nintendo because no Link. I ran into it. Because I think there was a thing where they were going to add all the characters into all versions of the game for all systems. But because how Nintendo is with characters of theirs appearing on other systems, a little iffy there. And I mean, it's not unheard of, but it's very rare. I mean, heck, The Mario Brothers was officially on old Atari 2600 games though back then. Yes, that's right. I used to play the old Mario Brothers 2600 game. God darn it. And at the time, I thought it was like a bootleg there. They even had Donkey Kong on the Atari 26. Granted, back then, their idea of ooh and ah graphic wise was blocky pixels. I know, granted, everything's blocky pixels, but just enough of them to make it cooler. But you think, like, is this correct? It doesn't even look like him, though. Maybe it's fake. Until you look more into it and find out, no, it's official, though. It's from the company themselves saying, you know what, we're going to have this game on this system. Yes, played original Donkey Kong for the Atari 26 as well as the Mario Brothers. Not to be confused with Super Mario Brothers, which, by the way, they're having an anniversary next year. What's it, 40, 45? But what got me is they're basing the anniversary date. I keep forgetting they do this though, but they're basing the anniversary of Mario Brothers, as in Mario and Luigi though, off their Super Mario Brothers game, not the original Mario Brothers game, the what I would like to call the sewer game there. Because apparently while fixing the plumbing though, you have to deal with giant crabs, fireballs, flies, more fireballs. Dang, New York. What else do you have in the sewers? Actually, take it back. I don't want to know. But yeah, they're basing off the NES Super Mario Brothers game, not the regular Mario Brothers game. But you're celebrating the characters around. But then again, by that logic, though. So it makes you wonder, though. I mean, if you're going to celebrate the anniversary of Donkey Kong, you know, you're going to celebrate it by the first time they appeared. He appeared. So why not the original Mario Bros. Game? I don't know. There's probably a reason. There's also probably a reason why my screen is shaking over here. That's why every time I look at that in the back of the cart, the basic pipe frame cart, though, I keep thinking it's like a giant Duracell battery. I mean, it could make sense though. They do have little Mario Kart toys. Going back to Mario Kart though, I remember when they were announcing that they were coming up with a new Mario Kart console, even though it's more like a handheld, but same difference. That there were people were trying to figure out what number is going to be, despite the fact though that Nintendo sometimes don't number their games, but when they do, this usually goes in the amount of that fits on the release. Like if they called Mario Kart 8, therefore it was the 8th Mario Kart game. But when it came down to Mario Kart World, well, before it was officially named, I think it was, they just announced it though. They were trying to figure out where is Mario Kart Tour lies in there though. And people say, oh, it's not part of the mainline games there. Or, oh, it doesn't count though because it's a phone game. Despite the fact that when it came down to additional DLC though for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe though, oops, why did I do that? I'm supposed to be crushing the little dry bones there. That they were trying to say, oh, it's actually the ninth game. Well, yes and no. I guess when you consider it a, I don't know. I want to say like on a console type thing, but then again, it was also on the handheld. I don't know. But we're not taking account to the arcade games, and then maybe it would have been the ninth game because it is a full-on game, so to speak, but not in the sense that where you buy it for the one price, excluding DLC though. I totally messed it up, didn't I? So I guess in some ways it could be seen as a ninth game, unless you count the 8 Deluxe as a 9.5 game. So people were trying to say, oh, well, Mario Kart World, or future game though, until it was eventually called World, that's going to be the ninth game, because they're going to call it Mario Kart 9. Because you know how, like, whenever they announced something new, and people's already throwing names to it though. But yeah, it's like currently as of this recording though that they already showed some of the Pokemon Mega forms though, like the new ones, and there's already the typical, hey, we leaked some footage or we leaked some photos of the new Pokemon stuff. They're like the new Mega Pokemons. I didn't realize there was so many Megas now, including ones that were released. But yeah, it's always funny though whenever somebody tries to pass off their fake Emons there though. In order to really pull it off though, you have to follow the unwritten or probably written rules of the Pokemon designs of how they would look like. And then you got to present it in a style similar to the official artwork, like the Ken Sugimura style of art. You know, I like when it comes down to artwork there and styles, especially for like games and other media there, it's like, well, you shouldn't be copied off of people's style. You should work on your own. But let's face it, though, a lot of people would rather copy off somebody else's style there. But yeah, it's like Fortnite over there, and they're already saying about Fortnite Nightmares, their Halloween event where certain characters supposed to appear, and of course, I'd rather wait for them to prove things wrong. That's for Mario Kart over here, though. Well, like I said, though, every Mario Kart's different, though. They bring some unique mechanics, though, and to me, it will be kind of a 9 or at least a 8.5 game. The sad thing is, though, like a lot of Mario Kart games, though, is that as they continue, as long as they continue to make Mario Kart games, though, they will usually go back and try to bring back some of the older tracks in a new revamped form. But so far, there is a small handful of them that have yet to have an upgraded version of it. I think one of them is the, what is it, the N64 Bowser Castle one though, with the grimacing Thwomp that's hiding behind some bars. I don't think they made an updated version, but heaven forbid them not to make a SNES Rainbow Road 1,000 more times there. What's Bowser doing over there? Or should I say Dry Bowser? He's just grinding the rail over there. He heard me talking about stupid castle. I can't remember which one. I think it was Mario Kart DS, where one of the Bowser castles had a rotating column. And I don't think they remade that one yet, too. I was kind of wondering how they would have done the Yoshi Valley one, though, because of all the winding paths. And I think Mario Kart Tour was the first time they did an updated version of it. And the way they did it was too bad, though. Behold, the power of love and friendship. You cannot compete. But yeah, as for the cliche of Rainbow Road and Mario Kart games, though, Mario Kart Tour has so many variants of it. I think it's the most variant-heavy Mario Kart track in the series, though, because usually if they're going to do it, though, not counting reverse or the backwards track, which was before they had reverse, because I think Mario Kart Tour was the first one that had reverse, completely different from backwards. Reverse tracks, basically, it's just you take a mirror, flip it over the backwards. You take the same track, but you go the opposite direction without, well, going forward though. The thing when it comes down to backwards tracks, which was the one that they introduced in Mario Kart Tour, is that certain tracks you'll be wondering, wait, how do I get back up this route though? Because this is a cliff side though, and there's no way for me climbing up the cliff. Well, lucky for you though, they either will put a gliding ramp, the blue track ones, or huge fans. But yeah, But they also introduced a new type of track known as the remix tracks, which is basically similar in design to the original track itself, but with some major edits in certain sections. Though, like for example, the original Rainbow Road from Super Nintendo. If you was looking from an overhead perspective, it kind of resembles the original track though, but there is lots of gaps and certain sections that has floating asteroids there. So Mario Kart Tour did introduce two different types of tracks though, the backwards and the remixes. There was one tour, I can't remember which one was though, but it had one track. I'm saying one track, despite the variants, so that did have different variants. So the reverse, the trick, the reverse trick. But yeah, ever since they stopped making new tracks, they've just been basically rotating tracks out though, or should I say tours. Other than adding the Mario Kart Worlds carts and the mechanic Mario Luigi, though, the only time they added something new is probably the badges. They're like this 6th anniversary one over here. If you do all the tracks though in the path though, you can get the regular colored badge. So if you do the daily tracks though, you'll get the prismatic silver one. Oh, there are some cases though you could get a gold one though if you do gold pass though, but it's not really much to it. Before they stopped making new tracks though, they did introduce a variant of Gold Mario. Because Gold Mario for this game, you only can have access it normally by doing the coin mode, which allows Mario to vacuum up all coins, regardless if they're gold or not. There's blue and red ones within a certain radius, and this radius is huge. Almost, if he was in the dead center of a track, it'd probably cover the entire width of the track. So when they were slowly winding down new features for Mario Kart Tour, though, they did give people a chance, though, via the weekly thing there for the track, so in which if you're in the top 3 of the chart, that you could get a Gold Mario. The only difference between this Gold Mario and the Gold Mario from the Coin Rush mode is that the vacuum radius, though, of Gold Mario is severely reduced. So where is it? So once again, though, instead of almost as wide as a normal sized track, it's now half that distance. So it will still suck up the coins there, but you better hope all those coins are in a line or something like that. Where is he? Now here's the thing about some of the characters though in this though. Gold Mario is similar to the Super Nintendo Mario and DK Jr., where he does have this special edition that's not mentioned anywhere in the description. Because on here, if you look though, it just only mentions his skill is just Fire Flower and Enhanced Fire Flower. It does not mention about being able to suck up coins. Okay, yeah, it does. Okay, never mind. But yeah, it does mention the coin vacuum over here on the rank 1. But other than that, though, you cannot enhance it like you can with the other bonuses. So for the Fire Flower, though, it's just there by default. But yeah, here are the ones, the mechanic one of Mario and Luigi from the crossover mini event, Mario Kart World. Too bad that the other gold variants did not do the whole coin vacuum, just only Gold Mario. Super Mario. I think right now Mario Kart Tour is the only one that has the most characters you can play as. Just swap an outfit and suddenly you have a different ability. But Okay, I only have one. I didn't get the DK one. As you can see, I still have a lot though because a lot of them are store or gold pass. Okay, there's DK. Now, if I remember right, I mentioned this before in an older video because it definitely does not mention here though. But if you was to get the SNES Mario or DK Jr. though, they have a unique functionality though, in which they change the music and the item box sound effects to the original Mario Kart game though, regardless of what track you're on. The same goes for the music there. And whenever you're done with the lap though, and you let the characters roam around though, by way of tapping on the camera though, they'll play the ending music sound like from the game as well. When I first got the SNES Mario though, I didn't realize that he made the unique sound effect or enhancement. Once again, it kind of reminds me of some games though that brings back the old sounds. That are like, I remember on Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver though, they had the GBA device where you could flip a switch in the game though, and it allows you to play the game with the original Game Boy sounds. Man, I can't believe it though. I remember the first time they even mentioned about having a remake though, and remember getting the Fire Red, Leaf Green remakes, and then I've seen the Gold and Silver remakes. And since then, people were now expecting that to come up more often. And now it looks like they're going to maybe do more of the trend of the Legends game though, even though as of this recording, ZA has yet to come out, and I totally missed that one. I'm trying to remember. I think they did when going back to Mario Kart over here that they did have that Banshee Boardwalk one. If that's the one from '64, kind of feel sorry for the people who was doing Toad's Turnpike there because they're always going to be on the infinite loop. Oh my eye! I was watching a video a few weeks ago talking about. What was it? I think it was Toad's Turnpike or one of the Toad Highway ones where you can see a silhouette in the bus and it looks like Diddy Kongo, but they mentioned no, it's the little monkey. What was it, Kiki? Of course, the thing is, I think somebody even mentioned in the video though that this was noted in one of the game manuals too. I kind of missed game manuals in games though. Just to be able to read a little fun, well I guess depending how you look it might be fun, but a little information about the games and characters like in Pokemon for Game Boy where it reads like a little journal. It's even got that leather looking design on the outside of it though. I guess depending how you look at it, once again, the real fun part is those game guides I mentioned from earlier, where some game guides, whoever made them though, was able to get access to some earlier stuff though. Once again, going back to Pokemon over here though, I remember looking at one of my books there, and it says saying, was it Brock wants to challenge you to a battle? It says the Brock. Or how about whenever you have the helpful hints there, going back once again to Pokemon there, where Professor Oak was mentioning about the usage of a Master Ball, and the best one you can do it on was a Gratitat. I'm thinking, oh yes, forget that legendary creature. The legendary creature to me is this purple and cream color rat. What? No! I stumbled. Come on, come on. Yeah. Shoot it up. Free running. free cola. No, you don't. If I'm gonna pay for a pass, I want to make it worth it, though. I mean, I want them to make it worth it. Like Fortnite, though, they at least make it worth, though, where you earn premium currency. That way you can go buy another one, though, with it. Everybody's spending money again. Take it if you are able to get all their V-Bucks within their currency track. And this one, unless you won nice, pretty, shiny cars there, I suggest not to go for it, though. I know there are some that just like to add to their collection. But I need that particular thing, not because it's just there, because I like the way it looks. What? That's why every time I see these banners for the carts there, I always keep thinking about the rabbits from, well, you know, the Rayman rabbits. I have to say it just right, though, because closed captioning likes to say, you mean rabbits? No, rapids with a D. I mean, that would have been... What the heck? I never seen it do that, though. I mean, from a distance, though... I got you, Mother. From a distance, they do kind of look like those dumb bunnies. I wouldn't be surprised, though. I mean, Mario has interacted with them regardless a few times. You bumped me, why? What gets me is there's a few of the tracks on here though that has more to it though, but they blocked it off though, and you would think, oh, maybe when they have a different variant of it, the track come out, you can go to it though. Nope. It was one of the Peach's Castle tracks though that has a section that is, oops, that's blocked off. Well, knowing how the tracks in the game work, though, there will be a different variant of the track, though. It'll be the same track, of course, but a different layout, a slight different layout. Maybe there'll be a section where you can do tricks, though, and there's a jump. But one of the Peach's Castle, which they did implement in Mario Kart Deluxe, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so. And it's on the far side, like if you're facing towards the castle there, it would be to the right side. And the thing is, it exists in this game, but there was no way to access it unless you somehow hack into the game and then get access to it. And I kept thinking, well, maybe next time. Nope. Maybe next time. Nope. Maybe the remake. Nope. I mean remixed. We'll get you a piece of that. Oh my goodness. And when they were introducing the tour tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I was kind of wondering how that's going to work, because other than Yoshi Valley over there and multiple winding paths, I was wondering how they were going to do the sections differently, since Mario Kart Tour has it to where the large maps, though, will change based on which version of the map you're on, but you never will have full access to all of it. And then once Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out with their tour tracks, now I see how it did, though. It was cornered off by translucent arrows. Well, semi-translucent though. It's like big, huge glowing arrows or other barriers that would prevent you from going through, even though you clearly see traffic going through them, like typical traffic. I really need to see if somebody, I'm pretty sure somebody did though, went through all of the city there, like using a free cam. I'm sure somebody did with the mobile version though. Nope. The funny thing is, I still have the beta version of Mario Kart Tour on my other phone. Because somehow I managed to get into the beta version of the game though, and instead of deleting it, I just said, I'll leave it on the phone. That way I can say like, hey, I was there since day one, at least in this country. Can't really use it though, but it's just there. When it comes to playing beta versions of games though, some people get upset because upon hearing, oh, you got into a beta version of the game, you must have been a well-known person though, because only well-known people like so-and-so on YouTube are able to get into a beta version of games from an alpha. No, it's not always true. Aha, showed you. It's like, I mean, I've been in several betas and one tech alpha of games, especially like Blizzard games. Like I've been in World of Warcraft, was it Warlords Draenor beta? I don't think it was Hearthstone though, but I know that, well, besides Mario Kart Tour, the Tech Alpha, I don't remember the difference between Tech Alpha and regular Alpha, was for Heroes of the Storm. And I like it though whenever you do beta though, and if they wanted to though, that the developers will give those participants some kind of badge to indicate, hey, they were there at the beginning. Usually whenever I'm talking about various games, I usually try to fit in the theme of whatever game I'm playing, but you know what, for this one, I'll just talk whatever. Like I've been. When it came down to like Heroes of the Storm, which was Blizzard's answer to the mobile games there, like League of Legends and such there, that it wasn't too bad. They were thinking about doing the relic system though, where you can give your characters it though. And when I tried it, it was alright. It would have cost people though to equip, de-equip, upgrade and such. And here's the thing though. For anybody who has a Battle.net or Blizzard account though, they can go onto their account and see all the stuff they've bought with various currency, whether it be actual currency though, like money, real money, or in-game currency though. Like for example, let's say if I play Hearthstone though, I earn enough gold coins though to buy me a new pack of cards or whatever though. Well, then my account will say, hey, you spend this much money for a pack of cards. Well, the funny thing is, when it came down to Heroes of the Storm, during the testing phase, that it would use different currency. And if I was to look at my activity report for all the currencies I used to purchase whatever in-game stuff, it would still show, well, last I looked about 3 years ago, it would show that I have bought these items during the testing phase. I thought it was kind of interesting though. Ah, darn it. I mean, yay, but darn it. Of course, sometimes whenever you do betas and such, like for example Mario Kart Tour, though you really have no evidence. Like, okay, we're moving on to the next step. So I figure by keeping the Mario Kart beta on my phone there, I'll be like, yeah, see, I was there. How much further I got? Not much further. Good. These tracks are faster on Tour for those that never played Tour. They're not meant to take forever, so to speak there. So tracks are reduced by 1 to 2 laps based on the laps. It's too bad though that didn't have Rainbow Road 64 on here. That did something though. They have different kinds of Rainbow Road though too. I think one of the last Rainbow Roads they had was the GameCube one, which I really don't like because it was more windy and twisted. Speaking about Rainbow Road, once again though, the 64 one was one of my favorite ones. I think the next one below that would be the Mario Kart 7 one, where you do the moon base. And plus you got to go around the little planetoids and such. The sad thing is, when they brought it back to Mario Kart 8 and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the 64 version of Rainbow Road, I mean, it looks pretty good. It shows where you're at, though, in space. You're above the lands and such, unlike the neon backlit signs of the characters. But the sad thing is, so while the original one was, what was it, 2 or 3 laps, it was one of the longer Rainbow Roads at the time. Well, of course, it was only the second Mario Kart game. The sad thing is that when they brought it back for Mario Kart 8 and its deluxe form, they just made it to 1 lap. They made it to like the Mario Kart, what was it, 7, yeah, Mario Kart 7 version of Rainbow Road where just 1 lap, that's it. Don't get me wrong, I did like the fact that there is a huge, or should I say, long train flying around you with toads throwing money at you. They kind of brought it back in Mario Kart Tour over here with the toads throwing money at you from a train if you go to the Sydney track. Except for not only do they throw coins, but they throw mushrooms and bombs. Why did you throw a bomb at him? Yeah, that's the only thing I had. Who goes around carrying bombs? No. I think they played that Mario Kart 64 theme, Rainbow Road theme, and a few Rainbow Roads. The rest of it is just some kind of variant or an original piece, though. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I need to let's do this though, so I can see that we can go higher though, because 400 for this rarity is the max limit though until you open it up further. Oh. I keep messing up though on some of the ones where they're close to the cap and I still use the level up tickets. Now, for anybody who wants to see prior Mario Kart Tour videos there, in which they were first shown out there, I do have a playlist showing them off, which this should be on there whenever I'm done. Should be. Now, I would like to note that I don't have every tour since it came out, but I do have a good majority of them, though. I can't think of the dang word. So I want to say at least 90% of the tours that's been out since the game has. Yeesh, that's almost almost 5 years though, because I think they stopped last year. So we're coming up, yeah. So I think the 5th anniversary was almost the last year. I said almost because I think they actually stopped on year 4. I have to check myself now. One thing about Tour, though, they do give you a special functionality of wiping the ink off, because I don't think they did that in the Wii version where you did use a touchscreen. I think it just let it slide off naturally or use some kind of speed boost so to wipe it off. A fun thing about Tour, I guess depending on your fun explanation, whatever. Anyways, idea of fun is the camera mode as well as auto race. There are some of these little things you can do though, just simply by letting the game race for you. The thing about when you do auto race though is that you will always win unless you use the whistle that comes with the mode. The whistle will allow you to take on formations that are like a flying V, the conga line, and so forth though. There's also if you switch camera viewpoints, so like let's say you play Mario though, and you want to see what Bowser's doing behind you though, if you switch camera mode, I mean the camera from yours to the other characters, by the way, this is only available on first player, of course, then whoever the camera is on automatically will become the first one though. Not poof, he's first though, but then that character will take the lead. So let's say back again with you're playing as Mario though, you move the camera there to Bowser though. As long as you're focused on Bowser there, now Mario will slow down, back up there a little bit, and now Bowser will take the lead. You can do this to anybody. So let's say Wario is last in line though. If you move the camera or focus the camera on him, everybody will slow down and he will speed up though until he's in line. But not only that though, but you got different color filters though too. You can also take photos too. There were sometimes these little challenges though. Now it's becoming more rare though, but they do have photo ops. So let me do it like here. One of the bad things about Tour is that you cannot stop. There was no brakes. But okay, I'm gonna pause this so. Zoom in, zoom out. I'm on a shoe, but hey. And plus I need to give me a thumbnail, so to speak, though. I do like the different, let's see here. There we go. I do like the different filters like this, a blur, really blur, sepia, black and white. I'm not sure why would you ever use this or this. Maybe I could use this though too. I want to focus on me. And this will go onto your photo gallery in your system's device. Actually, what I usually do is I usually get the banner of the starting line. Now what this does, it allows you to do a 360 though. It's kind of funny sometimes though, because if you look at some of the characters in the background though, they will be unrendered in a way. They'll lose their definition. And when I say 360, I mean 360 though. So if you want to take a look around though, it's like, oh, look at the intricate details for a mobile game. I mean, look at this thing. Of course, you can't just walk in, so it doesn't got the full augmented reality type of thing, though. But hey, give them some time, though, if they feel like it, though. They might have an augmented reality type thing, though. I remember for one of the April Fools, Google did team up with Nintendo to have a Mario Kart on your Google map, though. Okay, I'm going to... No. Pop art is a little too blurry though. Let's do this for a thumbnail. There we go. And the fun thing is though, while it's playing though, you can do the whole rotating there. Like if you want to do first person though, you can go like this. Imagine doing VR over here. And no, when I said VR, I don't mean the one at Universal though. Hey Nintendo, how come you don't do VR yet on home console? I feel like I'm standing on my cart. Once again, this is automatic though, so apparently I went through a wall. This is automatic though, so I don't have to worry about pushing any other buttons. So. Zoom out. Actually, I'm the invincible cameraman that people heard legends of there, where they can't really die, but they're not allowed to interfere. It's kind of like supposedly the Marvel Comics, the Watchers, like, yeah, we can see what's going on, but I don't want to interfere. I'm running really fast with this huge camera. You can't catch me. What are you guys doing behind there? Oh, that's what you're doing. I like how with the, well, not that though, but I like how with it comes down to, where is he? I like how when it comes down to the Super Nintendo version of Mario though, he's not fully 3D though. He does shifts back and forth between different perspective though. So it kind of looks like he's just sitting at an angle. Now here's what the whistle does. Whistle 1. Let me do it this way. Okay, there we go. That's whistle 1. Whistle 2. Conga line. And as you can see, since I'm focused on him though, reverse flying V looks like. Everybody ahead of me. Oh no. This should be the lineup. Yeah, this is the lineup. This one. Yeah. As you can see though, because I focus on him, he's going to always win. And this does count as complete track though too. But as you can see, every one of them is an NPC though, except for my character. But once again, it still counts, so. I win. I always win, except for when I lose. Then I don't win. Don't crash. Wow, there goes my fun. I remember though, whenever they did the Coconut Mall, and they brought it back. They brought it back, I think, on here first. Yeah, that's right. I think it was. I could be wrong. Ah, dang it. And that also meant the Toads going back and forth. Not Toads, it was the Shy Guys. Anyways, the cars going back and forth in the parking lot. Pretty much like in the original version of the mall. However, the funny part came, maybe funny for some and not to others though, was the fact those cars were static. They just didn't move in the Mario Kart 8 game Deluxe, just to clarify. And people say, why do they get to move and we don't? And we're supposed to be having better graphics and all stuff than compared to the mobile version. So I'd say, aha, mobile beat you on that. Well, enough people complain, I guess, or Mario got him. But anyways, Nintendo went and, quote, fixed that though. So now the cars move. But what's interesting is how they moved. It wasn't your typical back and forth, back and forth. No, they move by doing little mini donuts. They peel out right then and there. Sparks are flying. Which means they get to whip the car around though, and if anybody gets the broadside of it, well, it's too bad. Another funny thing, once again, depending on definition of funny though, Sunset Wild. Sunset Wild is one of the few Mario Kart tracks in which, well, it starts at one time of day and ends in a different time of day once you get to the final lap, which in this case, sunset. Well, Sunset Wild there, just like the original version of it though, started around close to sunset though, around nearly dusk, but still bright enough to where it's blue skies though. By the time you get to the second and final lap, because once again there's only 2 laps, unless you're playing Baby Park, then of course it would become sunset the moment you cross the finish line. Well, the thing is, when they made it for For Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, though, once again, people complained because there's a lack of sunset in a sunset-based track. Oops again. Another minor or partial win, though, for mobile there. I can't remember if they fixed it or not, though, or they made it more like permanent sunset, though, instead of having it, well, set. Now, there are some people that plays Tour. Yes, there's still people that play Tour, not like, oh no, it plays that again. I mean, if they didn't, though, they would just flat out stop using it. Because remember this, they do have to spend money on their own servers there. Well, it's not going to end well. But there are some that's hoping that they would have some way of saving the Tour tracks that never appeared as DLC, though, or the variants that they had. Because almost all of the Tour tracks has appeared in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and there were some that didn't. For the most part, did. Kamek, now I'm looking about the broom cart over there. Kamek, who originally was supposed to be in Mario Kart, I want to say 64? One of the earlier Mario Karts, though, got cut and replaced with Donkey Kong. Okay, so it was Mario Kart 64. However, he wouldn't make his appearance until Mario Kart Tour, and then later on the DLC there for, well, Deluxe. So yeah, I don't know why they did that, though. For sure, there's some explanation for it. Now I have no. Oh, there's that Penguin Mario. Of course, Mario would be Blue Penguin, considering the infamous incident. But yeah, I don't know if Mario Kart Tour will be around for a 7th year. Because once again, even if a game is popular enough, though, they won't be able to sustain too much longer, though. There was a Dragon Quest game called something of the Stars. I forgot what it was. And it closed down, what was it, last year or so, as of this recording? Come to find out, though, that they still had it up and running on the Japan side of things. So, wait, why was it closed over this one and not... because they wanted to focus more on the Japanese audience? When it comes to mobile game also there, because the longevity, though, may vary, though, unless you're Candy Crush. Well, some games might seem like, oh, this is a good hit there, and it doesn't last past a year. There are some that do last, but when it comes down to sunsetting, that there is, unless you're playing Minecraft, though, on mobile there is no true way of continuing playing on the game, because for a mobile game, it's actually good. Unlike some shovelware games where, like, oh, this thing. Or it doesn't save, or, you know, something that comes up there. I guess you Candy Crush. And rarely, actually, if at all, except for the one case, so they would allow you to have an offline variant, though. So when they do sunset, you can continue playing to your heart's content. Well, as of not early, but almost a year ago there, Nintendo was finally sunsetting their Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, which wasn't too bad. I mean, it's what you expect. Mario Man? Expect from a mobile game there. There was the premium stuff there. There was some special events. There was premium events. And people didn't want to lose it, though, because people, you know, when it comes down to free-to-play games, there are some fun things that they like, though, and they throw money in it and say, I want that stuff. Which means that once they go bye-bye into the sunset, though, that means so does their hard-earned stuff, or there's free-to-earn stuff there that they just threw money at. Well, Nintendo took the initiative, though, and made an offline version of it though, but it was considered as a separate but the same game. Which means that if you wanted to continue on though, that you would have to connect your information though to your Nintendo account though, and then whenever you get the game when it came out, at the time it was like about $10 American dollars, and any equivalent in other countries though. For a limited time though, I think until June or July or maybe January. I know it started in June. And they even give you a little friendship tree and such there to commemorate the times that you had fun. They changed all the premium currency to a secondary currency, the leaf tickets, which just look like normal leaves. No surprise there. But they made it to, of course, where it's offline games, to where I want to say 95% of the things that you've done prior, except for the special events, are like Pokemon Go Eevee 1 or the Hello Kitty though, except for those. You can still do it though, and it still goes by your internal clock on your device, blah. But while this was happening, another well-known-ish game that was also free to play with the typical premium stuff and I worked so hard type thing though, was this Simpsons Tapped Out. That thing lasted, I want to say, almost 6 years. A little longer though than Animal Crossing Pocket Camp though. But around the same time that Nintendo was announcing them making an offline version of their game though, sad to say though that that game that people like playing, though, yes, people did play it though. I was in a Facebook group. Might still be in there, unless they close that down finally. And despite the fact that people also earned all this fun stuff and whatnot, so that you couldn't get back there, they found out, well, bye, see you later. Can we save it offline? Nope, bye. So once they flipped the switch from on to off, everything that they worked for was gone there. And the moment when some of the people heard that Nintendo was making an offline version for their Animal Crossing games, so people who threw money and earned and had fun there could continue on though. They're like, why can't you do that, EA? Well, remember, EA's in for the money though. And if they want to go on to next best thing, well, too bad. You think that some of the games that does that though would be able to make a offline variant though, but nope. Once again, unlike Minecraft though, where you can play that offline though, the only online aspect is you visiting friends or wherever though, and the store, which is not exactly a must unless you feel like you want to get How to Train Your Dragon World over there, or any other themed ones. Unless you're like me and didn't realize that internal external save is two separate saves, and I messed that up. But yeah, going back to Mario Kart Tour though, I wish they would have that. I know other people wish they had that because they did like this version of it as well. But I got a feeling though they won't. And once it finally goes by, it goes by. A well $10 spent there on something that's not permanent. I always find it funny though whenever people demand their full money that they spent on their really? That's like me going over to a McDonald's there, finding out they're closing down, and demanding all the money I ever spent on their Big Macs there. You spent the money, they used it though to last this long though, and you want them to give you money back? For what reason? Okay, here's the other one I got, the Rainbow Titan. Tiny. But you know the risk when playing a free-to-play game though, or in Nintendo's case, free to start, which kind of does make better sense though, when you think about it. Because free to play is like, yeah, free to play it though, but there's additional stuff too. Well, I was watching a Mario Kart related game video there that someone was discussing about how rivals work though. And they try to explain to people how certain NPC characters though would be your rival and how they always seem faster than you. It kind of reminds me on Mario Kart Tour though, where you can be way ahead of the group, and once you're done with the particular race there, you can switch to camera mode, which is something they added about, what was that, a year later? But if you put it on camera mode there, and let's say you're like almost a half a lap ahead of everybody, though, if you wait for a while, though, they will automatically come up with you, though. Well, not automatically, but they will catch up with you. Even though it seems like you're going the same speed you were prior to winning the game, or beating it, or completing it. But once again, I don't know if Nintendo's going to have any other Mario Kart related games on mobile, that is. I remember back then. Yeah. Alright. Oh, well, as long as I complete them all. I know there's still some people who are hesitant on playing it, though, because the whole loot box type thing, even though it's more like a loot pipe. Ooh, somebody got a fancy font. I don't know how they keep doing that. I mean, you can play it, though, without loot boxes, because they kind of got rid of it, though, in a way. Now you can just buy the pipes using the currency that you get within the game. I wish I kind of did that in some of the Mario Kart games, though, where the coins actually have some functionality other than a slight boost. Because once you get the max of, what was it, 5 or 6 coins there, you're already at the max min boost. On here, it's like, you can buy something now with your coins there. If you have enough, though, you can buy you a cart. If you have enough, you can buy a character or a glider as well. Of course, I haven't really played Mario Kart World that's recording, though, so I don't know if there are coins in that has a similar function or if it's just a slight speed boost like always. I figure if people like a certain functionality or mode in a game that they will continue using it a little bit longer, but I have been proven wrong. If I remember right, though, Mario Kart World also took away the underwater segment, though, because you know how people are with underwater anything. I remember playing World of Warcraft, though, and when they introduced Cataclysm, though, and saying, we got an underwater zone area, though, where you can do missions, quests, and all that stuff, though. And knowing how people are with underworld, yeah, that too, underwater. No, I didn't want to quest or be underwater because I don't like it. Traumatization over water. Well, looks like I'm almost done here. I didn't mind it though, except for my computer didn't like certain underwater because it was a little hard on the graphics card that I had though because it had to render so much. But that was kind of my fault though because I wanted the cool and ooh and ah effects there. Got a slightly better computer a few years later though. It's kind of like in the real world there where people want to discover space. Meanwhile, there's still lots of ocean that they have yet to discover. So, no, I'm fine. I've seen the creepiness of underwater and what it holds. But you want to go into space. It's way much bigger, obviously, though, and they have creepier things. I get this little jitteriness, though, from the screen over here for some reason. Ow, why did I do that? I keep forgetting I'm in a lap trial there or not, going to get somebody. Fuzzies, fuzzies, no! Almost hit the fuzzy. Take my Duracell powered cart over here. Oh yes, and also yes, I did this recording about almost 12 hours ago there. I missed it again. I did do a few recordings of the Pokemon trading card pocket game though, where they had a new pack there, as well as me being able to be lucky enough though to get the immersion card of Pikachu, in which it shows all prior immersions in one. What gets me though, getting these cards for the new EX set though also contributes though to prior sets as well. So if you need a particular card there and you had a bad luck with getting another one though, you can get it from here. For some reason, it also lists repeats in the same listing. Oh, boy. You can't let me in. I kind of wish Mario Kart would include the guest characters again, though. But I think that's they're not going to do it this time. But then again, it just has a lot of things and backtracks on them. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. It's almost been an hour and a half. Last time I did this last year, though, was a little over 2 hours. But I don't think I did as many. Finale time. This one actually changes perspective depending if you have it on wide or column there. Right here you can see decent amount, you can see the top and bottom though, but right here. And one thing I like about this though, you can adjust the camera while letting the credits roll, so to speak. I'll help with something good. Are you ready for it? I don't think I'm ready for it. Are you ready for it? Star Blast, Star Blast. Well, it's a star, right? The reason I say Star Blast because a little star will shoot and hit it though, increasing the chance of having a higher end. What did I get? Ta-da! Thumbnail is going to have the prismatic looking silver one though instead. Wait, what? Oh yeah, because I did the other one though. Sorry if you hear an echo that I got a little too close to my other screen here. Money, money. Of course, the event coins is going to reset regardless, so I guess I go earn some coins there and then end it. Dr. Mario characters, though. I never really got the chance to really play Dr. Mario mobile game, though. It was alright. Unfortunately, it relies mostly on paying to win, you know, or pay to lose, or pay whatever. I never understood why just wearing a different outfit considers you as a different character. It's like me putting on a different color shirt. One day I put a blue shirt, next day I put a black shirt with a logo on it. And now I feel smart all of a sudden. Perhaps I should put on a red shirt though, and I'm able to fight fires. Like the fact that after all this time though, I'm finally streaming some games on a gaming stream though, instead of my typical art stuff. Because Lord knows me trying to play games on a Twitch gaming channel there. You'd think that would occur more often though. It did. But then I decided to take this a little different though, and then it wasn't until as of this recording a few months ago I decided, you know what, I'll just go make an art channel instead. But for some reason I have to change things up. And as of this recording, it hasn't happened quite yet because I'm still working on the little details. They're not going to exactly be grand, it's just me just doing some minor stuff though. I'm not like saying like, oh, let me pull out a banner or whatever though. Which I always find it funny though whenever it's on like on Twitter, it's not on X. And once in a great while now, gets people saying, oh, well, I do banners and such here. Congratulations though, you're talking to somebody who can make his own banner. Unfortunately, there's a lot of these people that just basically copy and paste banners there, and all they do is slight tweaks there, and they all look exactly the same. Stock footage over here, man. I want a banner for somebody. I want it to be unique though, and not like unique by slightly different colored palette there. But going back to Mario Kart over here, especially Tour, and later on when they added some of the Tour tracks there to Deluxe, what's funny is like, yeah, I played those tracks before. How could you? These are brand new. It reminds me of the scene Back to the Future, if anybody's ever seen that, in which the main character Marty McFly travels back into the 50s to see his younger version of his mom, as well as younger version of his uncle and other relatives, where he was saying, oh, I watch this show. How can you watch it though? It's brand new. It kind of reminds me of that when it comes down to certain games though, that have modes and functionality though that was eventually introduced in their other versions of the game though. So me playing these tracks on Tour and then saying, hey, I played those before, even though they just added it to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You're like, what? No, these are new. Are they now? I played that like 2 years ago. How could you? There's another game. If anybody ever heard of Dead by Daylight, though, this is a similar game called Identity 5. And there was a mode, maybe it was, I don't know, by the time anybody ever watched this, though, it was still functioning there, where you can play in a mode where it's like 8 surviving characters, though, and 2 that are coming after you, though. Well, in Identify they call hunters, and Dead by Daylight called killers, though. But for a few years, though, in Identity 5, though, they would have this mode there where 8 survivors have to work together, though, to open gates to escape the evildoers there. It's called that way, though. And it wouldn't been into a few years later, though, that Dead by Daylight have that. I'm like, I played that mode before. I even used that meme there first time. And it reminds me of that too there because, you know, well, I played the mode before in another game. And I was waiting for somebody to say like, how could you? This is brand new as well. Because I played it before. Not in this game. I never said this game. It's kind of hard to actually reverse it. I mean, like turn around, because that's another thing you can't really do. You can't turn yourself around, at least on purpose. There are times you can do it by accident, though, because there was a, you know, you kind of force yourself into looking the other direction, so to speak. I don't know why I did that. See, on this map over here, track, you can go up the Coliseum, but you can't go down. You can? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. I do like the little water splatters on here. And if anybody doesn't know what those red badges I was looking at earlier, though, there are some red badges. But those are for more like the expert challenges. They're like one is basically outrun a blue shell, or should I say escape and not outrun it. I remember the first time I got that, what was it, 2 years ago? Or, I was like, wait, I actually managed to escape it. Run! Some of these frenzies, you cannot aim backwards. But yet, NPCs can. Not sure why. Why do you cheat NPCs? Why? It's like I said, NPC though. I don't want no shy guy. New world record. I better claim my tour gifts though, because if I don't, though, they go bye-bye too. Bye. I hate when that pops up though. Now this I'm going to work off stream though, but good lord. As you can see right here, lucky ones can get that though. The thing is, there are tickets where in which you could use though in order to level up your characters though, so you don't really need to do those challenges though. I mean, you need to do it though to get the character though, but after that, yeah, right here, you can just use those tickets though whenever you're able to. Let's see, where is it? No, that's to increase the points though. It would have to be one of these over here. Well, some of these characters can only appear in one section, though. I remember when I was doing these challenges, though, I didn't get the challenge that gave me extra rubies there because they didn't count, though. And they said, oh, well, you looked at everything, and it says you did. No, I didn't. The only another bad thing about Tour, though, is the fact, though, that some people can have inappropriate names on, but if you try to say, oh, somebody had bad names on, they say, oh, we took care of it. Well, how can you take care of it, though, if I haven't told you or showed you a screenshot? Why are you going to say, oh, that's bad there? Well, anyway, so that's pretty much it for Mario Kart Tour 6th Anniversary sale. Dun, 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 dun. All these stinky badges. I'm gonna miss them whenever this game sunsets, though. Well, some of them I might miss, though. Other ones are just your default logos that they have. Kind of reminds me of the sticker app that they had on, well, still have, depending on how you look at it, though, but on the 3DS there. It's too bad they don't mention about like what year you got them in though. And the red ones though, all these red challenges though, and then you get this over here for doing levels. There are actually Google Play achievements though, but they're just basic and you don't get much there. I have no friends because it's one of those cases though where it's like you play a mobile game and you get bored of it after about a week's worth of time, whether it actually be a full-on week though or the equivalent of a week. Here's my information about that. I rarely do the multiplayer races though. Even after they did that though, I got a sense of feeling here. I have a lot of 5s in there. Level 144. Anyway, so that is all for Mario Kart Tour 6th Anniversary video there. Who knows, the next time I might do a Mario Kart Tour though, because there's really nothing else to it though, and if there ever will be, it's probably either near the end of life for the game, whenever that is. It might be next year. Because once again, you can never really determine how long a mobile game will last, at least an online mobile game, because it could be from a few months there to a few years. Rarely they go any further than 10. There are some that have gone 10 and they're kind of like, alright. Yeah, look at you, Pokemon Go. I don't know how much longer Pokemon Go would be lasting either, though, but that would be interesting. Anyways, but yeah. Well, I'm going to end it here, though, and I might occasionally or rarely play this game, though, even though it's going to switch between horizontal and vertical lines. But yeah, who knows? I might play another game like Fortnite or something like that, though, since their Nightmares might be coming up soon. I rarely do that anyway, so I still gotta finish cleaning out the storage though on my device that Minecraft is on, though. Not the computer, but the one on mobile, though, because apparently I never thought about, removing certain worlds there because I was using it for like streams and testing and such there, and I forgot to switch it from internal to external storage. So, oops. And I'm not tech literate enough though to come up with a program that allows me to withdraw the files from the internal memory of the device into the external or an external though. I'm pretty sure there is a way. But yeah. So once again, for the third time though, that is Mario Kart Tour their 6th anniversary though. I'll be back another time though. I don't know when and of what though. Maybe something game related, or more likely it might be something art related at the time though. This is the recording though. This is also the last day of September 30th, 2025 apparently. Because apparently time flies before you know it. Well, thanks for watching though, and if you were watching this when it was live on Twitch though, and if I still have the Twitch channel, because you never know how far in the future somebody might be watching it, taking as long as YouTube doesn't get rid of it though, you're more than welcome to follow me on Twitch there though. Hopefully there'll be more games, if not, just whatever comes up at random though. I can't guarantee a daily thing though. Or you can subscribe to me on YouTube, which is more likely where this video is at though. And it's mostly gaming zone. If you want to see prior Mario Kart tours there is a listing, a playlist of them too though. A reminder though that not all tours will be on there because there are some that I forgot or overslept or was distracted by paint drying on the wall, I guess. I don't know. There might also be some issues though where sounds are higher or lower though because you know how. Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to end this though because otherwise I'm just going to keep rattling on. But anyways, thanks for watching though, and be back next time with something. Later. And also hopefully get a PC games coming up. So, ciao.